Oh, this is a weird feeling, this. Everton winning 2 games in a row, and against good opposition. It's not like we've just played bloody Southampton and Leicester back-to-back and got the wins like that. We've just played Tottenham, who, granted, they're in a bit of turmoil, and we've just played Brighton, who are flying high at the moment. Single pun. You know what? I think it's the Moyes effect, isn't it? He is the Moyes sire. Right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the School Science. My name is Luke, and this is the post-match reaction for Brighton versus Everton. Brighton 0, Everton 1. Now, this was also our first penalty of the season as well. This is our first. That's got to say something. We do not get a lot of penalties, Everton. I mean, outside of the FA Cup, we had one in the FA Cup. Do we have any in the Carabao Cup? I don't even think we had any in the Carabao Cup either. This is essentially our first one of the Premier League, and hey, the only one you can put behind a penalty is Iliman Ndiaye. The guy knows his football is on another level. He's basically, how can I put this? If I was to put this in the best sort of metaphor, when he plays football, it's like watching someone playing 4-dimensional chess while the opposition are still playing checkers. It's a whole different thing. He is an extremely skillful player. He knows how to play. He plays in a way that seems to have been a lost art. I mean, I'm not going to put him in the likes of, Ronaldinho-esque or Lionel Messi sort of thing. I'm never going to put him in that sort of light, but he is definitely one of them sort of people who knows how to play with a bit of flourish and flair, and he makes it work to his sort of benefit. Also, me also focus on a bit of a moment here. So if I step back here, the lighting changes, and when I come forwards, it changes again. So apologies on that one. But yeah, right, let's talk about this game. So, starting things out with the lineup, it was pretty much the identical lineup to how we played against Tottenham. So we've basically gone with, well, according to SofaScore, we went with a 4-2-3-1. In my opinion, that wasn't the case. It was a back three. I think it was a 3-5-1-1, essentially, how we played it. Your three being Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and O'Brien. And then your midfield of 5 was Iliman Ndiaye on the far left, Oriol Mangala, Idrissa Gana Gueye. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm having a moment here. I'm having a freaking moment here. Basically, it is a 4-5-1-1. Takori being the number 10, Calvert-Lewin being the guy up top. And, well, as we know, Calvert-Lewin, after about 10, 12 minutes, he had to pull because of his hamstring. Now, I know that feeling all too well. I mean, I'm still not entirely 100% with my left hammy at the moment. It still gives me a bit of pain. When I kid you not, going to and from work, if I'm in that car for too long, about, let's say, for argument's sake, my drive is normally around 30 to 45 minutes. If I'm in the car for maybe an hour or more, I can feel that hamstring starting to throb. Now, I know it's not ripped, I know it's not a tear, a pull, anything like that, it's just a strain, but it's a feeling of severe discomfort. So, chances are he has probably done something similar and he strains his hamstring. Now, me, I've not got any physios or anything like that, or any medical experts. I've had to do a lot of my research online and everything to figure out how to sort of get it going again and stretching it and doing a lot of work in the gym. He has got some of the world's best physios and people around him, so he's probably going to be out for maybe 2 games. I think he's probably going to be out for the Leicester game, maybe the Bournemouth game, but he might be back for the derby. Don't quote me on that one. It could only be 1 game. It could be just the Leicester game. We might have to resort to having Beto up top for the Leicester game, or we could even raid the youth squads, or even, hell, why not put Ndiaye up top? Let's try Ndiaye up top. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going off topic, aren't I? Sorry. I'm just really happy, We've just won a game. Again. 2 games in a row we've won. I didn't even know this was allowed. I thought teams like Everton were meant to win 1, draw a few, lose a few, win again. That's what I've been used to for so bloody long. He hasn't been since, I don't know. I think we had the bounce of like 4 games where we actually won and just clean sheet under Dyche, and that was like the back end of the 2023-24 season. Well, not the back end, sorry. The back end of 2023. But yeah. So when Calvert-Lewin come off, Beto come on, and within his first touch, looking at it very quickly, so watching it from like the normal standard pasture play, when that ball came in, I thought he was trying to be quite smart with it, and he was trying to do a bit of a flick back, so he was trying to flick it back over to Ndiaye that it was over his shoulder. But looking at it, again, when they did the replays and everything and slowed it down a little bit, that was not the case. As someone said to me, his first touch was like someone with steel toe caps. He was trying to control it with the toe of a steel toe cap, and it failed miserably. It basically he tried to get the touch, rolled past the studs and deflected behind and wide. So that's nah. But yeah, later on down in the game, along basically nothing ball forward, Beto was chasing it down and he had a player just in front of him, one of the Brighton defenders. Now, pardon me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'm just having a couple of drinks and that, just to sort of help me dry throat, so sorry on this. Right. So when it came to that one, the Brighton defender was just ahead of Beto. All he had to do was shepherd the ball. He had to just make himself big and stop the guy and stop Beto from pushing forward any further. Just a small check back or body block. I'm not sure whether they're still considered fouls these days. I really don't know. The referees seem to be making these rules up as they go along, so I'm a little bit confused on what that one is in terms of context, whether it is a foul, isn't a foul. But yeah, all he had to do was that. Decided not to. He decided to carry on with the ball. And then as Beto sort of got behind him, as he was going down, he literally does that into the ball. Pushes his hand into the ball. It is the most blatant form of handball I've ever seen. And initially, it was going to be our corner. However, because of all the players protesting and VAR stepping in, it went to the referee saying, right, basically what the VAR more likely had said was, right, this is what I think. It's a penalty. It's a stonewall penalty. But you are the referee. You need to check on the screen. So the referee goes to the screen, and something that actually made me absolutely cry my eyes out in laughter. It was hilarious seeing it. You have the Brighton fans giving the referee hell while he's looking at the screen. So he's basically got the screen right in front of him, and you can see the crowd around him. And you've got a handful of Brighton fans, some of them yelling at him. And then there's one guy. There is literally one guy with, I haven't got any small bits of paper that I can use as a piece of example. Actually, there we go. Got a piece of paper here. Literally, there's a guy there with a fiver going like this. Come on, take the fiver, take the money. Doing that, trying to bribe the referee. I know it was satire, but it made me howl. It was just that funny. And obviously, it did not work. He needs to give him at least 20 quid because Everton ends up getting the penalty. And good old Ndiaye. Nice, cool, calm, collected, even after the goalkeeper gets right up in his face, trying to psych him out. And the good thing is, Jesper actually stepped into defender's mate. You just got Jesper standing between the goalkeeper and Ndiaye, and telling Ndiaye, you good, mate, you got this, you're sound. Whilst this goalkeeper's basically being an arsehole. So yeah, Ndiaye takes the penalty. Nice, clean. To be honest, it was slower than I think was comfortable for me. I think when he took that penalty and it kicked, I was worried because the keeper had went the right side to it. And from there, he just beat it into the corner. The ball just went past the keeper. Nice little 1-0. But I think this is the problem. If he were to put a bit more fizz on that, I've got a feeling it might have come off the post because he would have had a little bit less control. It may have went a little further to the left and it might have come off the post and out, or might have missed altogether. But he put it nicely into the corner and then went off to celebrate. And as we know, Iliman Ndiaye, being Senegalese, he really loves the Senegalese, the eagle from the Senegalese eagle. So he was celebrating doing the Senegalese eagle, And obviously, the referee must have misconstrued that as him taking the mick out of the Brighton fans, being the Seagulls, and he gave me yellow cards as a result. I think that's a massive injustice because, as we know, Iliman Ndiaye, being a really proud person of his country and his heritage, he wants to celebrate with the eagle. You know, remember, if anyone ever remembers Yakuba and the Super Eagle, when he used to celebrate, he used to do the Super Eagle. Similar to that. So you can't be booking for that, you know? I could be taking the piss, by the way. Don't take it as gospel. I could genuinely be taking the piss. But yeah. So, first off, nice and solid. We were really asking questions of them and we were defending well. Second half, however, when we came out, Brighton had an absolute... They had murder in their eyes. They wanted to score past us. Because bear in mind, they've only ever... How can I put this? They've only ever had 2 games where they have not... Well, I can't even say... They've only ever had 2 games where they failed to score so far this season. I believe one of them was Ipswich, and I don't know what the other one was off the top of my head. But there's only ever been 2 games, and you're both 0-0s. So we are the very first team to get a clean sheet off them and have a win on top of that. So we can take that one with pride. But yeah, they have absolute blood in their eyes. They really pushed at us. Matoma was really going for it as well, really giving us a hard time. He was operating off the left, coming at us. So basically, Jacob Brown was doing everything he can to sort of hold him in place and stop him from playing. And there was a couple of moments where they were trying at us, but to be perfectly honest, Pickford did not have to do all too much. The defence did all the work. Because when we were out of possession, we become a back 5 immediately. Well, in some cases, a back 6. Just for the fact of you had Jacob Bryan, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Mikalenko. So there's your back 4. Idrissa Gueye would slot in, he'd become the back 5. And Jesper Lindstrom would also come back and cover, making it into a back 6. Now, it's a very good thing to see, just for the fact that Jesper Lindstrom is not a defensive-minded player. He's normally a number 10 or even a second striker in some situations. But seeing him coming back and putting himself on the line to help the lads in defence is really, well, it's really appreciated to see. So good on you, lads. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing so far, Jesper. You're making a lot of great progress. Most of these players under Moyes so far have been absolutely brilliant. The only one I've got a little bit of a gripe with at the moment, well, 2. Those being Decore and Beto. Decore, he's still getting his minutes. But my only gripe is, on the ball, he's basically becoming our speed bump on the ball, because when he gets the ball, he stops. He doesn't move in a stride with the ball. And what will happen is he'll stop. And when players are coming at him, either he'll bring it sideways to another player, which not got too much of a gripe with, or he takes it backwards. He never goes in a stride with the ball. So when the ball's getting passed forwards, he doesn't pick it up and go on with it. He gets the ball and stops. So he literally goes and looks around. I feel like that is going to be one of the biggest issues when it comes to working in our strides. And when we go up against bigger opposition, the likes of Liverpool, Man U, I believe we have got Man City coming up at some point in the future at Goodison. So in them sorts of games where they like to move and keep and then have a nice fluid transition, that could be a bit of an issue for us. So we do need to try and either get them to try and get a bit of flow going when it comes to moving with the ball, or put someone in who can do that. Now, in that situation, I would probably hazard and say, I don't know, if we were to play Decore, Iliman Ndiaye needs to go into that position because he can operate as a number 10 or become the second striker. So in that situation, you could have Iliman Ndiaye in the middle. Maybe it'll burn him off the left when he comes back from injury, or even James Garner off the left. I mean, granted, actually, you could even say Jesper Lindstrom in a way. You could have him operating off the left there because he is a right-footed player. So in them situations, he could be a little bit more greedy and say, right, I'm operating off here. I'm going to go down the wing, cut inside and have a crack myself. So you've got options in this squad right now. Once we've got our injuries sorted out, because right now we've got only one operating striker right now, being that of Beto, unless we go into the youth squads and take one of them lads out of there. But I'm not too sure if Moyes would actually do that at this point. But I mean, we've got Brozier out, we've got Chimiti out, and we've got Calvert-Lewin out. So we are in a bit of a pickle in that regard. But I've got faith in the squad that I've got faith in the club that either we're going to replace one of them and bring someone in, or there's going to be something in place that Moyes has got ready and says, right, this is how we're going to do it. This, I know, will work. But only time will tell. So yeah, later on in the second half, after we made our substitutions, we did end up going down to 10 men. Due to the fact of Oriol Mangala, he seems to have picked up a bit of an injury himself. From the looks of things, I think I've got a feeling it might just been a badly cramped calf, or even a little bit of a strain in his calf. But hopefully he's not going to be out for too long, because although James Garner can fit into that role, he's just come back from injury, and I feel like if we pull him in a bit too quickly, we run the risk of him re-injuring himself, in all honesty. And I think Everton might still be a couple of weeks out. I think we might even see Everton make a little bit of a cameo in the FA Cup game. Fingers crossed. But all in all, in that second half, we were absolutely solid. I mean, at one point, we literally had a back seven, because we still had Jake O'Brien on the field, still had Tarkowski on the field, still had Mikolenko and Jared Brandthwaite, but we also had the extra two in the forms of Nathan Patterson and Ashley Young, so it became a back six in that way, and they sort of almost became like a double-layered defence. So you had three as an absolute backline, three slightly forward, and then you had Idrissa Gueye falling in between, so it ends up at some situation, it was a back seven. It was a back seven. And it was good. It was honestly good. Because as I said previously earlier on the video, Jordan Pickford did not have much to do. He could have quite literally just grabbed a chair and just sat down for good chunks of that game. He could have literally just sat down and enjoyed the show. Now, granted, they were having a go at us for time wasting. Were we time wasting? Not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. We were taking the mick a bit when it comes to taking time, when it comes to the likes of the goal kicks and everything. But I wouldn't have called it time wasting. In some situations, you quite literally have Pickford standing over the ball, ready to take the goal kick, looking at the referee because something might have been going on further down the field, and he's waiting for the referee to say, go on, take the kick, do what you need to do, go on, do it. It was one of them. He needed him to basically say, yeah, that's it, go on, take the free kick, or take the goal kick, come on. But instead, people are whinging, going, oh, time wasting. And Pickford even turned around because you had the Brighton fans behind him, he literally turned around to them and said, I'm waiting for him to say, go on, kick it. It's not like he was doing this with intent. Now, don't get me wrong, you know when Pickford's time waste, you know when he's taking the biscuit a bit, because what will happen, if you ever catch the ball, you'll catch the ball and you'll literally go and start walking with it for a little bit before he goes down. I always find that funny when I see that. But overall, the time wasting thing is a load of horse. We weren't really time wasting. It was just we were taking the biscuit when it came to it, but it wasn't blatant time wasting the likes of what Aston Villa did when they were playing against us. It's people like to complain. And the one thing and another one was at the very end, there was a bit of a scuffle at the end. I'd love to know the reason behind it. I've heard different things. I've heard apparently Pickford was riling up their opposition. Apparently they were having a go at him and he sort of had to go. And then everyone sort of mucked in. Like to see James Tarkowski grabbed one of theirs and pulled him back. And it was a pull and a half because he got him by the scruff of his shirt and literally dragged him back. And he moved him with some bloody force. That is he. James Tarkowski. He reminds me of Jagielka in his later stage. He's a no-nonsense sort of player. And I do love it. He is our hard man. And you know what? That's why I've got him up here. I do like the guy for all his faults and everything, and the fact that he can sometimes be a bit of a moody git. I love him for his fact that he wears his heart on his sleeve, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Getting in, another win. That's 2 wins in a row. It's a very, very strange feeling to have 2 wins in a row, isn't it? But we've got to, We've got to keep focused on the next game ahead. We've got Leicester. Is it Leicester at home? Yeah, it's Leicester at home, 1st of Feb. And although they are sitting 19th in the table, are they? They're second from bottom at the moment. I still don't want to take away the fact that they are still a dangerous team. They've got players in there who can score. Jamie Vardy, although he's, I don't know, 1,000 years old now, he's still got the ability to find the back of the net. So I don't want us to take that for granted. We need to take these with the complete and utter seriousness that we have, and just try and get a third win, and then move on into the FA Cup game. That one is one I am very, very, very concerned about, just the fact that Bournemouth right now are playing out of their skin. They have just beaten Nottingham Forest 5-0. That is an amazing result, considering Nottingham Forest at the moment are taking no prisoners. But yeah, guys, before we finish off today, I have been doing a little bit of rebranding. As you know, I have adjusted the badge. I just figured with us having a new era at Everton now pushing forward, I decided to do a little rebranding and everything. I hope you guys like it. I'd love your opinion on it. Also, I'd like to hear your opinion about the game. Who was your man of the match? Mine was Idrissa Gueye, by the way. He got everyone on the pitch, did all the tackles, did everything on that pitch to a fine degree. He did everything perfectly. So he has got my man of the match. But I want to hear yours, guys. I want to hear who's your man of the match today. But that's everything, guys. If you like it, you know what to do. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Up the freaking Toffees. And peace.